Available right now on Hulu, aka Padders. It's Alien Romulus. Yeah, sure. This comes off like a promo, but it's not. I have to talk to you about this movie. We've done previous episodes on highlighting some of the social media kickback on this movie. Feel free, check those out. But today we're discussing the director, Fede Alvarez, and his movie Alien Romulus. This guy is something good. He's something great. He deserves all of our attention. He deserves a buffing from the film buff. I'm not sure what that means. AKA Padders, get ready. We're getting into it.
Quiet on the set.
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
So previously, we did Alien Week, where that entire week, if you were connected with me and the AKA Pad Army on YouTube, we were doing Alien episodes nearly every single day, just going through the art of books or making of books. We went through a couple editions of H.R. Giger. But the whole idea is to explore the franchise from as many facets as possible. That's what we do on YouTube. But for the Film Buff Podcast, the way how this gets rolled into it is my thoughts and my discussion points and what I feel a lot of people are missing with these Alien movies. Because I was there. I was there for the release of Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, Alien Covenant, Prometheus, AVP, and AVP Retribution, Resurrection, Requiem, AVP Requiem. Couldn't get that out of my gray matter. So previously, during Alien Week, I went into every single one of the Alien films, including even an Alien documentary, to give a perspective that I feel is lost. So here's mine for Alien Romulus. This movie is a masterpiece. Fede Alvarez, in my view, has arrived. He breathed something new into Alien, which you have to do, by the way. See, we know the hook, right? After that first movie, we know Alien. Okay, this thing cannot be killed. This movie begins with an alien in hibernation in space. It's referenced 30 minutes after that they thought it was dead, but it's not. They thought it was dead because, well, it had no vitals and no food. But it's a perfect organism. We're quickly reminded that nothing is immortal. That this is a pivotal scene in Alien Romulus. I've given you my perspectives on Alien 3, Alien Resurrection. And this one follows what the tropes are to become. So if we watch the movies in a sequential order, aka Padders, getting back to that first movie, because this is a direct sequel to that first movie. Once you have the alien, or Jaws, or whatever, as the final boss, as the big thing we have to kill at the end of this movie, what do you do next? So James Cameron invents and creates an alien queen. The guys behind Alien 3, it was Sigourney Weaver, actually. A different type of big kill. Alien Resurrection, we have an Alien Sigourney Weaver hybrid. Do you guys follow? So, if we're watching these movies in sequential order, in chronological order, we have Alien, then we get Alien Romulus, where in some way this movie picks up. It's just 20 years later, but we're in space. But it kind of picks up where Alien leaves off. We can't end the movie with an alien. We just can't. We're aware of the face huggers and how they work. But we also have to help these other filmmakers out. We have to help some of the timeline, meaning this incubation period thing. It's a little tricky. We just gotta do it. We gotta go with it. The incubation period in that first movie is, when it leads up to that classic dinner scene. It's the outlier. If we watch Prometheus, if we watch Aliens vs. Predator, if we watch Alien Covenant, we're okay. The incubation period is very quick. This movie just speeds up the cocooning, the hibernation. Things just happen. And it makes it a little bit tough to watch if you cannot get these other movies out of your head. I don't think that's the intent of this movie. This intent of this movie is we're going to give you a new final boss. And we're going to give you something you don't see coming. We go to the black goo from Prometheus and Covenant. We go to the experimentation and the silly idea that we can hold this creature and experiment and do study from Alien Resurrection. And let's just put those two together. We have the analog future, the analog effects, the lights, the low lights and bright buttons that we've come to love about the Alien movies. Alien Romulus folds right into the world of Alien. This is what we've missed. This is what everybody wanted. The first 30-something minutes of this movie where we see the world, this mining colony with no sun, it's jaw-dropping. It's perfect world building, and I hate that term. But it's just a lot of fun, and it's beautiful to look at. I think this whole cast, I love that we have Alien versus teenagers versus idiots that don't know any better, and that's how they get into this mess. Remember, the first Alien is the business people, right? These are the professionals. The second one is the military. The third one is religion. The fourth one is pirates. This one is teenagers. I love the cast of this movie, by the way. I think everyone's a banger. I think Eddie Alvarez as a director knows what to do. He lets these people go. The blocking, the set pieces, I love. So where does blocking come in? Well, blocking's a lot of what we see on camera and what happens in our field of vision. It's the horizon, it's being able to see down a corridor, that sort of stuff. He's got great blocking for this. I think we have fantastic music. Do we have to look up? I feel like for Benjamin Walishif. I love that name. What else has he done? Let's see. Film. He has... Wow. Did he do Auschwitz? I never even seen that. Blade Runner 2049, The Vanishing, Shazam, Hellboy, It Chapter 2. As primary score composer. This dude is beyond talented. And Fede Alvarez. So a lot of people go to Evil Dead and Don't Breathe for him. He also wrote Don't Breathe 2. I have yet to see that. So I don't know how well of a follow-up that is on just on concept alone. You're always curious when, someone that has their signature on the movie doesn't direct the sequel but is involved. You're always curious of what the fingerprints are. Because you still have to let people make their movies. But Fede Alvarez he's the franchise resurrector, deeply involved with From Dusk Till Dawn. He might have directed 1 or 2 episodes of that. So Dusk Till Dawn, the series, I think it lasted 3 seasons. I don't know if it's still going. I assume it's not. So that franchise gets a new breath of fresh air. He breathes life into Dusk Till Dawn. Sure, it's 1 or 2 episodes, but he's there to say, look, this is a movie made by Quentin Tarantino, directed by Robert Rodriguez. I have to do something with it. Like, there is a pressure. Then it's Evil Dead. Then it's the girl with the dragon tattoo, which I haven't seen. The girl in the spider's web. I haven't seen that. So he brings that back. He gets involved with the Netflix Texas Chainsaw Massacre that, if you guys remember, I absolutely loved that. He's just credited as producer and story writer, or he wrote maybe the premise. And then it's Alien Romulus. Alien Romulus, as I'm recording this, the AKAPAD Army, we have it on in another room outside our production room here. It's on mute. The movie's going to be running for quite some time because it's wonderful to look at. We get the pulse rifles from the Colonial Marines and Aliens. We see a little bit more of how those work. And they're white. I don't know why. I just loved it. But this movie, it didn't survive the internet very well. Because even Red Letter Media, and I really hate referencing other critics directly. Because, I believe it's a little bit unfair. Like, they're not here to defend themselves. But Red Letter Media went in pretty hard against this, against the tropes and the callbacks. The get away from her, you bitch, is it's a joke. He hung the lantern for that in the first couple seconds that we see the cyborg in this movie. He's just trying to understand humor, and be more human, just like Data from Star Trek Next Generation. He's trying to make it a punchline. It's actually very meta, and it works, and it's funny if we're watching the movie. The black goo from Prometheus and Alien Covenant is our secret weapon in this movie. It comes out of nowhere. We see it, but we all know. We don't know till later. And we get another mutation. We get another alien engineer. We get this alien engineer hybrid. So within the course of this franchise, we've seen the aliens mixed with predators, with the engineers, and with humans. It's fascinating. It's awesome. It's the epitome of what horror is. But a lot of these things, people just trash this movie because they say it had too many callbacks and too much of this and too much of that. This movie meanders a little bit when we're doing our finale, our explosions, our running, our chasing, very much like Matt Reeves' The Batman, which for some reason people love The Penguin and they kind of just forget that movie. A similar problem, though, that we had with Christopher Nolan and The Dark Knight. When we're running and chasing and wrapping things up, what are we doing? It just gets a little bit much sometimes. There's times where it's absolutely perfect and it feels good, and there's times it's not, and when it's not, it's hard to pinpoint why. This is a little bit of the effects. This is what films do to us. It's hard to relate to exactly why something doesn't work. Alien Romulus is fantastic. It's there. It's there. I don't know. I enjoy Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection. This makes me an outlier. But as an arc of this story, the saga of the Xenomorph, going from Prometheus all the way to Resurrection. It's one insane ride. It really is. And there's so much lore. There's so many connections now. It's just fun to watch, and it is this combined giant universe that we roll in with Predator. So you can say it's a shared universe. Fede Alvarez did a fantastic job. Whatever he's doing next, I want him to do a follow-up. He let him usher this franchise and let him bring his camera to the Colonial Marines. That's what we need to see. AKAPAD, guys, I love you. It's a long one today, but I really enjoyed this movie.
Okay, that's a wrap.